I'm Alan Rivers, 39, a software consultant, and until not too long ago, I genuinely believed I was living the dream. I had a thriving career, a stunning home just outside Seattle, and a wife I thought I'd grow old with. But life has a cruel way of revealing what's real when the spotlight dims. It all began unraveling the moment I lost my job, and with it, I discovered the uncomfortable truth about the woman I'd vowed to spend my life with. Molina and I met 7 years ago at a networking event downtown. She was the kind of woman who turned heads but didn't seem to care for the attention. She worked in interior design, polished, well-spoken, magnetic without trying. Where others tried too hard, she was effortlessly graceful. We clicked instantly. While the others in the room bragged about bonuses and IPOs, she actually listened, or so I thought. We dated for less than a year before tying the knot. At the time, I held a senior role at a rising software company and was quietly building my own firm on the side. Molina never seemed impressed by titles or money. She loved quiet nights, spontaneous road trips, and the dream of building a life from scratch. I believed we were partners. I believed she saw me. Fast forward to last winter. My company was hit with a devastating ransomware attack. Contracts collapsed. Trust shattered. Despite everything I poured into that place, the board cut me loose. No thank you, no fight. Just a severance check and a corporate smile. I drove home in a daze. Losing that job felt like losing a part of myself. When I told Molina, I expected concern, maybe disappointment. But what I got was cold calculation. She barely reacted. No hug, no reassurance, just a tilt of her head and a chilling question. So, what are we supposed to do now that you don't have a job? I blinked. I'll figure out, I told her, already running solutions in my mind. But she didn't let me finish. I didn't marry a man just to babysit him through failure. That sentence cut through me like a blade. I barely slept that night. But the next morning, she was already up, coffee in hand, voice rehearsed and sterile. I've spoken to a lawyer. She said, I want a divorce. I need someone with direction, and clearly you've lost yours. That was it. No fight, no conversation. Just cold paperwork and a plan to divide everything. She was done, and in her mind, so was I. But here's the twist. Molina forgot something important. Everything was in my name. The house, the cars, the vacation home, even the joint accounts. Years ago, I'd seen two close friends dragged through brutal divorces. So when Molina and I got engaged, I asked for a prenup. Not because I didn't love her, but because I'd learned. She hesitated, naturally, but eventually signed, thinking I didn't have much to protect. What she didn't know was that even back then, most of my assets were tied up in my LLC. Quietly, strategically. She never asked. She never read the fine print. She just assumed. So when she served me divorce papers with the confidence of someone cashing out, I let her dream. For 2 weeks, I played the calm, agreeable husband. I even helped her pack, told her I'd make things fair. Then came the day of the meeting. We sat across from each other in my attorney's office. She wore oversized sunglasses and designer heels like she was heading to brunch, not ending a marriage. Her lawyer, a smarmy guy named Rayner, looked smug. My attorney, Mr. Bishop, was older, quiet, not one for theatrics. He slid a stack of documents across the table. This is the asset breakdown. Please note the ownership column, he said evenly. Rayner barely skimmed the first page before declaring, we'll be claiming half of everything. Mr. Bishop calmly adjusted his glasses. You can't. Everything listed is under my client's name, acquired through his LLC, or inherited before the marriage, including the house your client currently lives in. Rayner blinked. Molina sat up straighter, suddenly interested. The joint accounts, she asked, voice tight, also protected, funded solely by my client and covered under the prenuptial agreement. If a divorce is filed unprovoked within 5 years, those accounts revert fully to Mr. Rivers. We were at year 4.5. Molina flipped through the pages, her face draining of color with every turn. This isn't possible, she whispered. Oh, it's very possible, I said, folding my hands. You wanted a clean split. Here it is. Her lawyer scrambled, but it was over. She had walked away from a marriage, never thinking I'd have anything to protect. And now, all she had was a bag she'd packed, and a lease to a condo she'd signed a week before filing. That lease turned out to be the final nail. My attorney had been delivered a copy of it just a day before, signed by Molina and a man named Carter, a name I'd seen once, casually, on her credit card statement. She had claimed he was a client. Clearly, he was much more. I lost my job, I said quietly, but you'd already moved on, haven't you? She didn't reply. She couldn't. I stood. I hope Carter makes more than I did, because you're leaving with nothing but your mistakes. I walked out, left him sitting there, her stunned, her lawyer flipping through prenup like he could undo it with enough squinting. 2 months later, I launched Stonewatch Systems, my own cybersecurity firm. Quietly, strategically, I used funds from accounts she didn't even know existed. Within 6 weeks, I landed 2 federal contracts and more consulting work than I could handle. I wasn't just back, I was thriving. And then, of course, Molina came crawling back. It started with a text. Hey, can we talk? Just coffee. I think we need closure. I ignored it. Then came more. You said you loved me once. Doesn't that mean anything? Carter was a mistake. Is she the reason you don't respond? That redhead in the photo? That made me laugh. She was talking about Clara, my attorney's assistant. We weren't dating, but the idea that Molina thought she still had some grip on me was almost comical. But then came the sabotage. One Monday, my operations head, Luke, walked into my office with a manila envelope. Inside were screenshots, anonymous posts accusing me of fraud, stolen code, even harassment. Clients had received emails. I was stunned. I hired a digital forensics team. It didn't take long. The IP address traced back to Carter's condo. The burner accounts, the language, the timing, it all pointed to Molina. She wasn't just bitter. She wanted to destroy me. My lawyer sent a cease and desist. We filed charges for defamation and interference. But I wasn't finished. At the Northwest Tech Circle's annual Black Tie Gala, where I was a keynote sponsor, I spotted her. Molina, clinging to Carter, champagne dressed tight and desperate. She saw me walking with Clara. Yes, I brought her. And yes, she looked incredible. Molina stormed over. Alan, this is childish, she hissed. Dragging her here just to upset me? I smiled. Molina, you tried to destroy my company. What exactly do you think you're entitled to? I did no such thing, she said too loudly. I pulled out my phone. Funny, I said, because my forensic team traced the IP address for the fake messages to this location. I showed her a screen. Your boyfriend's condo. Same night you posted that selfie. People were listening now. Some recording. Carter looked like he wanted to disappear. You don't have proof, she hissed. I laughed. I am the proof. You forgot. I build security systems for a living. Then I turned to Carter. Oh, and your company's legal team is reviewing the ethics clause in your contract. You might want to start polishing your resume. Clara touched my arm gently. Alan, I think they've had enough. We walked away, leaving Molina standing in a room full of people who finally saw her for what she was. Within the week, Carter was fired. Molina tried again. Emails, voicemails, even showed up at my old office. I made a mistake, she begged. Please, I don't have anyone else. I blocked her for good. The court granted me a restraining order after seeing the evidence. Now, any future contact means jail time. These days, I live in a quiet condo overlooking Puget Sound. It's peaceful, private, mine. Clara and I still meet for coffee sometimes. Maybe there's something there. Maybe not. And that's okay, because I'm no longer looking for someone to complete my life. I've already rebuilt it, this time on a foundation that no betrayal can touch.